Good morning and welcome to Coffee Club. My name is Abby Smith. I'm running for mayor of the city of Kokomo, and this is a weekly video series where I answer a personal question and a policy question on a Sunday morning, and I drink coffee. This morning I'm drinking coffee from my Belle mug. She is my favorite Disney princess, and we just get to know each other a little bit better. So this week's personal question comes from the campaign trail yesterday. I was out canvassing and I had a gentleman ask what kind of car I drive, so I'm happy to share. I drive a Dodge Durango. I love that car. I was looking for something with a third row and all that other stuff that moms need. And so I found one, I loved it, and then sat patiently while the sales guy checked the VIN and traced that back to where the transmission was built, because I wanted to make sure that my friends and neighbors here in Howard and Tipton County built that transmission. I know how much they do. I see it firsthand, having worked for United Way, and they believe in this community, and I believe in them, and so I want to do my part to make sure their job stays here, and I support the products that they make. So I drive a Dodge Durango, and I love it. So the policy question is a little more politics this week, and I've had a lot of people reach out to me and ask how they can help, and so I know that I never really understood what political volunteering was before I ran. I thought it was a big thing and everyone would know, and people might not like me if they didn't like the candidate that I was supporting. And so now I know better that that's really not the case. It's not that big a deal. There are some public ways to volunteer, but there are also lots of behind the scenes ways to volunteer to help get the candidate that you support elected. So I'll start with the public one, and the biggest way to help there is canvassing. So that is knocking on doors. That was very scary to me when I first started, but now it's not at all. We've made 28,000 attempts, whether it's doors or phones or texting in the primary election. So that's a lot of doors to knock on, and we need a lot of help doing it. But it's not as scary as it seems. I think I've only had probably under 5 people who were a little bit grumpy when I knocked on their door. But most of the time that's not about us. That's about something else that they have going on. Last night a family didn't have time to talk, which was totally fine. They were headed out to get family pictures in Highland Park. So most of the time people are very nice, they're very gracious, and so what you do is just introduce yourself and say that you're with the Abby for Mayor campaign and that you're wondering if they had a few minutes to talk about the issues that they care about in the community, and then you talk to them a little bit about why you think I would make a good mayor and thank them for their time. So it is not as hard as it seems, I promise. But there is phone banking, and that can be done from your home, whether you live locally or far away. So I have some far away friends who were helping phone bank because they believe in me as their friend, and so we also have people locally. And also that and texting, it doesn't use your phone number, and it's a way for you to volunteer where you are and still get that voter contact. And then there's some more behind the scenes ways. So I have a couple of friends, one with some social anxiety issues, and then one with a hand that shakes. So they wanted to make sure that they helped, but they weren't sure how. So those 2 ways that they're helping, one of them is putting labels and stamps on postcards that I send, and then the other is helping write some of those postcards that I send. So it's a behind the scenes way to make sure that you're helping with the campaign, and it is a huge help. There's no way that I could do all those things on my own. So I really appreciate those volunteers who never think they're doing enough, but they truly are. Anything is a big help. And then we also have communication volunteers. I have an awesome social media team and communication team, and they come up with the best ideas. And even the people who are sharing things or retweeting things, those are wonderful volunteers too. So if you are creative or like social media and you want to help, please let us know. And we will plug you into that team. It's great. And then the other piece that I would say some people think is not a big deal, but it's a huge deal, is planning. There's so much planning that goes into a political campaign, and just sitting down and thinking through something and organizing it is a huge help. So I have 2 examples, one that we've already done and one that we'll need help with. One is yard signs. The first is yard signs. I always saw those pop up, and oh, there's Timber. Timber, here. Come here. Well, she's not going to come. She's very camera shy today. So Anyway, yard signs, I always saw them pop up, but the thing is they don't just pop up, there's a method to that madness. So somebody organizes the requests and the delivery and the fulfillment. And so, that was something that was really helpful to me when someone took that over. And then t-shirts. So we did not do a big bulk order of t-shirts in the primary, but we are going to do that for the general. And so this is the moment where I tell Elena Brewer, thank you. Elena owns her own small business that she runs from her home. She's a friend from, an acquaintance from a while ago and now turned friend. And she's just really creative. And when I announced that I was running for mayor, she made a sweatshirt for me with my logo on it and sent it with a nice encouraging note saying that she believed in me. And so when it came time to figure out, well, if people want shirts, what should we do? And Elena stepped up and said, I will happily make those. Anybody can contact me directly. And she handled all of that. So thank you, Elena. And we will continue to use her as much as possible because I believe in her. She's a hardworking, spent some time as a single mom, now in a great relationship, but now an entrepreneur, was brave enough to strike out on her own. And then also recently went through a house fire. So, I think she does a great job and I want to help as much as I can. And I know she believes in me and I believe in her. So thank you, Elena, for everything that you did. And now we need someone to organize t-shirt ordering and other gear fulfillment. So lots of planning that goes into a campaign. I hope this explains a little bit about what volunteering with a campaign really means. I know I didn't understand it before I ran, and I want to make sure that you know there is a way for you to help, no matter how much time you have, and it all comes together, makes a big difference. And I have a volunteer coordinator. Very grateful to her, and she does an awesome job communicating with you. Make sure you get plugged into the right place. So thank you very much. That wraps up Coffee Club for this week. Anytime you want to reach out, I would love to hear from you. We are back at it in full swing for the general election. Thanks.